Okay, here's a real treat. It is Eva Lynn. No, I don't wish you were mine. No, I don't think about you all the time. Though I might miss you the best, it leaves a heavy weight on my chest. 'Cause now I know, no, you're not the one. No, 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 no. No, you're not the one. No, 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 I know you're not the one. You're not the one. But baby, it was fun. But no, you're not the one. If you came back right now, wouldn't look you in the eye. Fingers crossed behind my back, but I'll never tell a lie. Fading smile along regret, because I never even tried. No, I didn't. 'Cause now I know, no, you're not the one. No, 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 you're not the one. No, 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 you're not the one. You're not the one. But baby, it was fun, fun. Was it your fault or mine? Keep my fingers crossed all the time. Can't see the future, but I know. Was it your fault or mine? Keep my fingers crossed all the time. Can't see the future, but I know I'ma be just fine. 'Cause no, you're not the one. Baby, you're not the one. No, 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 you're not the one. Baby, you're not. It was fun, yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was so fun, but no, you're not the one. Baby, you're not the one.
Yeah, good night, huh?
Amazing.
I'm a repeat offender to myself. I get high, I get low, there's nothing else. You must be an angel watching over me, 'cause I'd be gone, so gone, so gone, it's plain to see. And then it happens again. I got skeletons in my closet. They come back every time I think I
Steve and
Well,
Doug
Steve
trio.
can go first. I'll go second. I'll be.
Okay, sounds great. All right, let's.
Okay, give me a second.
That sounds great. All right, Steve, you ready to rumble?
Okay, well, I'm going to start off with a song.
Not yet.
No, we're good. I've switched it over.
Oh, welcome, episode 17 of the discombobulated Renegade ReW and Who.
You make me do that.
My favorite way of life is just, go with the flow. I had to do something today about asking me questions about New York and like how I feel about New York and would I stay or leave. And it's like, there's no question. There's not even an issue. I would never leave New York. I would rather be here on quarantine than anywhere else. But
True. There's no issue.
No, exactly. I mean, but the thing is, it's like such a weird time that who knows what tomorrow is going to be anyway. So
Anywhere. But that applies anywhere. We're in the center of the universe right here in New York. Remember that.
Of course. I know. And it's like, New Yorkers will always come back if there is a comeback.
True New Yorkers will always come back.
That's what I said. Yeah, the ones that weren't real New Yorkers already left. So the ones that are still here are we're the core, and I believe in this place. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, especially in my apartment. I would never want to be in a house in the country. Oh my God, I'd be haunted. I would. So now passing it over to you, Portugal. Please start us with some beautiful music and
Mr. Portugal.
Renegade ReW and Who off the ground on this day.
Okay, ReW, lovely to be here again. Thank you for the introduction. And I'm going to do a song that I know that you particularly love because I've been doing this the last few times I've been on this show.
Yes, I love this song.
And communication. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to start the show tonight with it. So here we go. Too much hate in the world, too much pain in the world, too much violence in the world, too much poverty in the world, too much greed in the world, too much loneliness in the world. We all need a real love and communication. Yes, we do. We all need a real love and communication. Too many tears in the world, too many fears in the world, too many racketeers in the world. There's too much crime in the world, too many doing time in the world, too much slavery, not enough bravery in the world. We all need a real love and communication. Yes, we do. We all need a real love and communication. There's too many lies in the world, too many to die in the world, too many questions why in the world. There's too many guns in the world, too much not done in the world, nowhere you can run. We all need a real love and communication. Yes, we do. We all need a real love and communication. One more time, we all need our real love and communication. Yes, we do. We all need our real love and communication. Thank you.
Bravo. I love that song. I love that song. It's so important for the broadcast and for the wavelengths of this time. Yesterday was a terrible day in America.
Terrible.
Oh, God. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? That's right. They need that song. We all need...
What specifically? I'm sorry to be so...
What, bad things happened?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm like keeping track of all the bad things. So I'm like, which bad thing are we referring to?
Well, the 4 cops that got fired from their job.
Oh,
and,
all that. Well, once
Immediately.
again, that happens.
They got fired immediately.
Thank God that justice, well, it's not justice at all.
But are any of them in jail? That's the trick.
Not yet.
Right,
Not yet.
not yet, but
Not yet. But
they should be all arrested for murder.
Well,
Disgusting and horrible. And then that woman in Central Park, she lost her dog and her job.
yeah. Yeah, and that's a very interesting thing because I was having a discussion with somebody about it because for me, the person with the camera is in control of that narrative. So we don't know what happened before that point. The camera started rolling.
Yeah.
And it just seems like two people that can't get along with each other.
But the weirdest thing is they have the same last name.
So bizarre.
Isn't that crazy? They're both Cooper.
They're probably related. They don't even know
Isn't
it.
that wild? Just bizarre. Truth is stranger than fiction,
I know
man.
Bradley Cooper's like, I hope they're not related to me.
Or maybe he does want them related to him. Any attention he probably would like.
Yeah, but these things happen all the time. That's why I was like, oh, what's different? Oh yeah, well that.
I hate when people have their dogs off a leash.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest pet peeve, no pun intended.
Well, for me, like what I was sort of commenting on was the fact that, I don't know what happened before then. I'm like putting together my own things of like maybe he said, hey, get your dog on the leash. And she's like, no, whatever. And then he pulled out the camera. And then she's like, well, stop recording. And that's that area of when people ask you to stop recording and you don't, then it sort of escalates that scenario.
Yeah.
So, two wrongs, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but everyone feel free to comment. That's why we're talking about this stuff.
Yeah,
so.
It's really messed up, though, the whole thing. I mean, I don't know if she should have lost her dog and her job, but it's a very heated time. It's like there is no grace period anymore for anything. It's like everything is so on edge, and it's like everything is an atomic explosion. It's like you've got to be politically correct. You've got to really think before you speak. I got to watch myself because I always put my foot in my mouth. And
you have to think first, and you have to be able to walk away. Just walk away.
Yeah, I know, but I know people that can. I usually don't talk. I usually, and then I'm told you can't deal with confrontation. It's like damn straight I can. I don't want to be in confrontation. I see. I've been in places where the cops show up. I sneak out the back door. I run. I don't want to be in any environment where there's potential something bad happening. I mean,
you and me, sister.
I run. I'm not into confrontation. I'm really not. I don't like it. Even in my heyday, I would do the same thing. When I was under influence, I still, no matter how.
Wait a second. Hold it. I have a question. You mean you're not in your heyday anymore?
Oh, well, it depends what I mean by heyday. I always say I haven't peaked yet, actually.
No, no.
I'm
None
waiting
of us
for the
have.
peak. I haven't peaked yet. But I'm so happy that I haven't because now I know that when I do, I'll be so old it will last till the rest of my life.
Oh, very funny. That's good.
Yeah, it's not going to happen and then I'll lose it because I would have if I peaked by now. It would have been done.
Wow.
So now it's going to last till the end. So I'm closer to my peak than I ever was. I feel like.
ReW.
Yeah.
ReW.
You ready to sing?
No peaking.
No peeking. Okay.
I'm sorry. I can't control myself.
Oh my
That's
god.
While I was waiting here, Paige.
Okay, I'm gonna mute him for the rest of the show.
No, that's cruel and unusual punishment.
Nah,
While I was
Renegade
waiting-
ReW, everything goes, right?
While I was waiting to play now, I went
Okay.
out to the men's room and I slammed my finger in the door. So I don't know if I can play. Can anybody see this? My
Oh,
finger has
God.
been disconnected from my hand.
He's
Oh,
pulling out all
no.
this material today.
Not.
Moving into comedy.
Are you just kidding? All right, I'm done, James. I'm ready.
Okay.
All
I
right.
can't help it. I'm juvenile.
Oh, please.
Okay.
I'm
Is it my
Episcopalian.
turn? Permission to play?
Permission granted.
Okay. All right. You know, I'm going to switch gears tonight. Love song. Oh, I only play love songs. I don't want to get anybody upset. This one is called The Psychotic Whisper. Here we go. I woke up at the bottom of your staircase. I woke up at the gates of your hell. Don't call my name in that psychotic whisper. Better yet, don't call my name at all. Something tells me that I'm in for your trouble. You're so nasty, you want to burst my bubble. Wake me, shake me from this nightmare. Better yet, don't you wake me at all. I died. I died in your arms. I died in your arms. I would die to be in your arms. I tried to call you on my stupid little iPhone. But what's new? You're never at home. The harder I try, the louder you cry. All these tears, I don't know why. But I died in your arms. You died in my arms. I wanna be in your arms. I woke up at the bottom of your staircase. I woke up at the gates of your hell. Don't call my name in that psychotic whisper. Better yet, don't even call my name at all. Because I died in your arms. I died in your arms.
love it. Nice song. Awesome.
Thank you. A little psychotic whisper.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
No peeking.
No peeking.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
look at him. Hey, stupid. What's going on? Are you there? Is your audio on?
He's muted. I can't unmute him.
Oh, I know. I heard
Yeah.
that Zoom has done something with the muting. Is that true?
Well, it's kind of like, as long as I'm handling the mute, it's fine because I can mute and unmute. But if somebody mutes themselves, then I lose that control.
That's right.
It's weird. I don't know why it does that.
Guys, is his
Marilyn,
name?
you can join anytime. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hello, Pam. Hello, Emmeline. Hello, Dave Uhall. Hello, Gia, Ken Swartz. Hello, David Tanner. Anyone who wants to join in, Linda Lou. And you can join in too. Roberta Lee, Shell, whoever wants to play, whoever wants to join in, please do.
Hi, Roberta Lee.
Yes, come.
wants to
come
talk.
whoever wants to talk and hang out, you're all welcome. The Zoom link is there, and also there's a link I just shared. It's very important. It's called the Tree of Art. It's a screening festival for. I just released "To Sir with Love," the cover song, and this is the director of the video. We're working on a music video right now. And it's his film, so he needs people to watch it and comment. Dave Uhall, welcome to Renegade ReW and Who.
Ru, how you doing? Hello, everybody. Don,
Amazing! Wow.
believe me, it took me about 20 minutes to get like this.
Are you
Hi,
kidding
Dave.
me? Well, quarantine works for you.
No, it does. It really doesn't work for me. It would be nice. It would be nice if I could see my hairstylist, but I can only.
You look amazing.
Well,
You
thank
look
you very
amazing.
much. You look great too, Ru.
Oh, thanks.
And Don, I just heard you play. Very nice, man. So it sounded really good.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you. Thank
How you guys doing? How's everybody holding up here?
We're here.
Oh, I know we're all. Thank God. Thank God we're all.
I heard Long Island opened up. Is anyone in Long Island? You are, Donald.
Yes, it's opening up in stages, but I've got to tell you, a lot of people are wearing masks everywhere I go, and I'm not jumping into the pool yet because a lot of people who might be carrying it without symptoms are all running around. So you got to be extra careful.
I know. It's just such a weird thing. I know.
Terrible.
It's terrible is like a nice word for it.
Right.
So basically, where you are, a lot of people are wearing the masks and doing the social distancing. Is it, or is that people are starting to get like, a little
Sloppy.
off the beaten track? Because I'm on the Upper East Side, and we have these bars now that are open, and what happens is that they're all outside the bar. They don't go in; they drink outside, and they don't have a mask, and they're not social distancing.
Oh, they don't wear masks?
They're not wearing. Yeah, no, they're not wearing masks, and
all ages.
All ages. It's insane. I don't understand how anybody at this stage of the game can't wear a mask. It's like that's like common courtesy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the leader of the Grand Poobah is not wearing a mask.
Well, maybe that's one of the reasons why some people aren't doing it. But
It's a big reason. It's a big reason.
Yeah, it's terrible.
A lot of people, unless if they don't know anybody personally who succumbed to the virus, they still think it's an abstraction.
Right, exactly.
Once they know someone personally, their minds their minds will be blown because it becomes a nightmare that doesn't end.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of people have not been touched by that angel yet.
Yeah.
And actually, Marilyn had just joined. She was documenting a bunch of those people with no mask and non-social distancing all around her neighborhood. So it's pretty weird.
Hi, Marilyn. Welcome to the.
Hi, thank you. Am I muted?
I can hear you. You have to talk.
All I'm hearing is a lot of people talking at once.
Yeah, that's how the show goes. So you got to jump in. It's like,
I just haven't heard my name.
yeah, it's just like a big family. So it's like you want to be heard, you got to start talking.
I didn't know if I could be heard, but I will.
By the way, everybody, here's Kathy. She's here.
Hey,
Okay.
hi, Kathy.
Thank you, Rue.
Have you been running?
I'm walking.
Huh?
Oh, that's good. So Marilyn,
Such a
what are you
delay between what I'm doing and what I'm seeing. Like I'm sitting here and then I'm going.
What are you?
What would you like to share, Marilyn?
Are you just
Please.
watching Zoom or Facebook too?
Huh?
The floor is
I like to
yours.
hear.
The floor is yours, Marilyn. Take
Go
it.
ahead, Meryl. We want to hear from you.
Okay. I'm here because I write about this stuff. I'm here because I'm sorry. I'm here because I write about this.
We can hear you.
Yeah, what's going on? Are you watching Facebook too? Marilyn?
Marilyn, Earth to
Okay.
Marilyn.
Are you watching Facebook too?
Ready? It is?
Marilyn, are you watching Facebook too?
Yes, I'm watching
Don't watch Facebook. Just stay on Zoom.
Stay in Zoom.
Just stay
Okay.
in Zoom. Get rid of Facebook.
Focus.
Okay, maybe that's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. That's a
I
problem.
was watching. Okay,
Yeah,
here
don't-
I am.
don't watch
I'm in
yourself.
Zoom now. And I'll share with you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. I'm in Zoom.
There you go.
I will share with you. Thank you. Oh, let me shut off my. Let me get out of my Facebook because it's all right. Let me switch off. Okay.
So let me ask you a question.
That's all.
Okay. Here I am.
Okay, go for it.
I'm ready.
Go.
Okay. So some people out there may know me as the dancing person with the bands, which is part of what I was doing before all this happened, and what I hope to do again when this stops happening. Dancing from the audience, not professionally. But what I do to earn a living is I'm a medical writer. I write for physicians and researchers globally. So I've been covering COVID-19 from the beginning, as well as many other things. So what we thought was that if anybody had questions, I'm pretty up to date with information on it. I also listen to Cuomo every day. I also look at the dashboard. So like, I know how close we are. But so that's one of the things I do. And one of the other things I will do after this is take guitar lessons so that I can sing.
I teach guitar. I teach beginner
Oh,
guitar.
all right, well, that's great to know.
Yeah, I'm a professional beginner.
That's how I am in dance, at least in dance class, which I just took. So I'm sorry if I'm sweaty and
Well, we
dance.
wouldn't know.
Okay.
We're socially distant.
No, I can even eat things with onions and nobody knows.
Exactly.
No, it's cool.
I like onions.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
So, what have you
Marilyn, I
learned,
work in the
Marilyn?
court.
I'm sorry.
What have you learned about this COVID mess?
Yeah, we want to know.
I'm sorry. I've learned.
We were waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, we're all waiting for you to tell us what your findings have
I'm
been.
you
thinking,
learned?
and I'm going to tell you what I'm learning. Give me a moment. I'm framing my answer. Okay.
Is there going to be a second wave?
What I've learned is how much we don't know. So everybody's conjecturing, and I don't read people's opinions about what's going to happen. I'd rather stay in the here and now about what is happening and what we can try to do to prevent it, like masks, or at least mitigate the infectivity, rather than worrying about what's going to happen a few months from now. I'm not necessarily convinced that, I am convinced that if we don't right now at least wear masks and stuff, that there will be spikes. I'm not convinced that that will cause a second wave necessarily, because that's down the road.
So,
But the other, okay, go ahead.
do you think over the summer is going to be like a false, maybe it's okay? No, because they say it's going to be in the fall, but I don't understand why they say, I mean, it's been in hot places and I just don't get it. It's like,
Right. Well, basically it's a virus, like a cold virus. So like that virus or a flu virus, it's mutating, so there are multiple strains. And therefore, I don't believe that we're going to ever get rid of it, regardless of vaccines or whatever ridiculous treatments they're trying now. But that eventually, through exposure, we're going to become immune, a lot of us. But I think that what we need to accept is that it's not going to disappear. And I don't think it's necessarily going to peak into some crazy thing later. I think we're going to adapt to it. But since I wasn't around in 1918 when that flu thing happened, I don't know if the beginning of a newly discovered or strain of this virus, that at the beginning of that, we need to take precautions that we won't need to take necessarily later. I don't know if that answers the question, but I think that that's what I've learned. I think people freaked out a lot. I think, I also think that there's so much politicizing of behaviors and people equating behavior with like being weak or strong. It's all a distraction because the basic thing is it's here. People are dying from it. People have died from it. People are getting sick from it. And people are recovering from it. So I think something at least 80%, maybe even up to 98% of people that get it recover. So I don't think you need to panic, but I think that to get to the reopening, which we all want, we should follow the guidelines that we're given right now.
But do you think, like, the way the country's acting, that's not going to happen? I mean, people will.
Well, I think the chaos comes from the top of having an infant idiot who doesn't have a plan and a way to lead. But even here, as I was saying last week, in New York State, which probably has the most data-driven response and the most kind of
grown-ups,
objective, grown-up leadership. Last week, unlike this week, there was a McDonald's a block from me. I live in Midtown Manhattan and right near the theater district, Hell's Kitchen area, that had a sign that said, "Come right in." And I saw bodegas open and I saw bars open in the middle of the afternoon. And I'm like, what the heck? And I saw a lot of people without masks. Yesterday when I went, the sign was gone from the McDonald's. It had a new sign that said, takeout only, we're open. The bars were not open. 98% of people were wearing masks. So I think we're all feeling like we are now doing what we're supposed to do. We can't control what the rest of the country does. I mean, we can control where we are and maybe not travel there.
Has now reached 100,000 lives lost.
Somebody has their Facebook on. Lower the volume. Not you, but somebody does.
I got it.
Welcome, Dennis. Welcome, Sid. Welcome, everyone. Marilyn, that was informative. If you think of anything, just let us know more because, I mean, I heard Broadway's going to open in January. I heard that today.
Well, most people say if it's not open by fall, which it definitely will not, that it's not going to open in the holidays.
I heard January they're planning on.
Yeah, probably right. If anybody has questions, you can ask me. I just want to say that these kinds of live streams are part of what makes me feel connected to people during this time. So thank you.
Of course, thank you for being so supportive. And,
she's a big supporter of a lot of these live streams. And glad to have you actually in as a participant.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love it.
I'm happy to be here.
So now let's do a little
If you want dancing at some point, I can do that.
Sure. You want to dance for us?
Maybe she dance.
I'll dance. Somebody playing.
Well, actually,
right,
shouldn't Steve?
Who's up next?
Shouldn't Steve go because he's on Portugal time?
Oh, that's right. Portugal. My dance instructor, the class I just had.
He's got a little time.
He's got a little time. Okay.
Stupid. I think you're up next. Dave, do you want to play a song? Oh, he's muted.
Oh yeah, I got him. No, actually, he needs to unmute himself.
You need to unmute yourself.
So Dave and Stupid need to unmute themselves.
Yeah, I was going to say I just kind of on the fly came on. So
all right, no, it's fine. You don't have to. No pressure.
Yeah. I have a question though. I have a question. So what is
And then Dennis.
I'm sorry?
What?
He had a question.
What is it, Dave?
I was going
I
to
was
ask.
asking a question.
What is everybody?
He froze.
Actually, like, what would you have, like a routine or something?
A format, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I have a format. I was just wondering if you did.
No, we have no format. What do you mean?
This is Renegade.
Yeah, we just go with the flow. It's like a round robin.
Like one big improvisation?
Well, isn't life?
But yeah, it is in some ways. I mean, I don't know. I get up, I make my bed, I do the dishes.
Make coffee.
I make coffee. I go up on the roof. I run.
Oh, you're so lucky you have a roof. I'm so jealous.
I believe me. We are blessed. We are blessed.
I always wanted a roof.
Marilyn, I work for the court, and I just think that there's a rush to get back in, to get everybody back in. And I think that there's a rush to get a lot of businesses going back in. And that's where I think there's danger, is that everybody wants to get back to work. And even Cuomo right now wants to get, we've got like every county except for the New York City courts going. And there's just a push to get us back in the office when not safe yet.
Well, you know, the sad part about it.
Waste.
Yeah, and the sad part about it is the reason why people want to go back to work is because they need to pay bills. And in other countries, I think in Germany or whatever, they've actually been paying people to stay home. So if we had that here, people would gladly stay home and self-quarantine, I feel, but it's just the whole thing of like month after month, you think about rent and bills and food and all that kind of stuff.
They do have a ban on evictions and foreclosures through August.
Through August?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then August comes and you have to come up with like 4 months of rent. Yeah, it's really tricky. I'll be quiet though.
No, you don't have to be quiet, James. Of course not. Stupid, you ready to play a song?
Sure, yeah.
Stupid Maynard, and then Dennis, you're next after that.
All right, so here we go. It's my newest song.
Woo!
Hit it.
I need to see this.
It has nothing to do with COVID. My granddad said any pretty press is good press, and he took me to a strip club that night. I just want to fly my kite, take a sweet bite of life, but his foot on the gas, pounding in the dash. Never passed a bar I didn't like, candy bars to titty bars to crowbars from here on out. So forget it, old dudes don't get it. They got it, they had it, but old dudes don't get it. No, they don't get it. Jesus the Christ versus Jim Beam at night. I'm always winning, I'm losing everything. Out the chamber it goes. You can't take it back. Don't ever miss them, ever, never miss them. That's the key. Never passed a bar I didn't like. Candy bars, to titty bars, to crowbars from here on out. So forget it, old dudes don't get it. They got it, they had it, but old dudes don't get it. Nah. To the libertines, to gasoline, the mud in your eye, the fire in the sky. Your magdalenes and your birds can sing. The gray lady down to the church bells ring. You can reach and produce a flowery thing. Candy bars, titty bars, the crowbars from here
So forget it. Old dudes don't get it. They got it, they had it. But old dudes don't get it. No. They don't get it.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know if it...
I think that was very appropriate.
Thank
They don't
you.
get it. All right, you ready, Dennis Doyle? Dennis
Doyle.
Hi,
Dennis
Cal.
Doyle.
Hi, Sid. Sid, where'd you go? You came and went. You were like a fleeting ship in the night. Bing bong. Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching. A lot of people are commenting on you, Marilyn. They really agreed with what you said. It resonated with many people.
I'm glad. If I can be heard, I don't know.
I'm going to put my mask on, too.
Well, you don't need to wear a mask in the house.
Okay, sorry. I'm just
And I
trying
just think people are
getting a tie.
to support promo.
But do people think that the mask means you don't need to socially distance? Like they don't counteract each other.
No,
Right.
they don't. No, they don't counteract.
No,
no, they don't counteract each other.
Exactly. So, but I do think people are getting a false sense of security because they think that that's for that. Like, I know it's for when
I think it's more important to keep a distance because they're finding, I mean, one thing they found is that the droplets, which can penetrate through a mask, can go for more than 6 feet. So it's more important to not, and people talking loud. Have you passed people talking loudly on their cell phones without any mask on and you're walking by them? And I want to kill them. I did call a young couple assholes yesterday, I confess. And they knew exactly why I was saying that.
And singers.
What? It's crazy.
Singing, there's even more droplets.
Yeah, okay. I was wearing my mask. I should have been, you assholes! And then they'll come out, rip mine off and spray them and let them think about it. As far as I know, I'm not contagious.
Oh, you know, you're tested?
But one thing I did do is order tie-dye masks from a performer friend who's knitting them, because I'm not knitting them, but cotton masks. Because I think we're going to have to wear masks for a while.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever stop? I think this is like...
I have this kind of boring mask.
Yeah, Dave had that one on earlier. Oh, look, you guys
Still
with
have
your mask.
one on,
Yeah,
but I don't have one. So
it's the KN95. Right?
one thing they're finding is that which surprised me.
Rob a bank.
Yeah.
Cotton masks are supposed to be good, which I didn't know.
Oh.
Yeah. So
every day is a new opinion, I guess.
that's the thing. That's what we're learning. It's like anything. It's like the disease of the week. You know, you look at one study, one day it's one way, the next day it's another. Because what they all lack is context.
Yeah.
So you have to look at the big picture of the information that we have in order to assess everything that's coming out. And
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Right, like
all
all
right,
that.
Dennis, ready to bring us down or up?
Please.
Dennis.
There's a girl who lives on my block. In that corner building and up those stairs. And this girl is alright. When I see her walking out there, that girl, that girl. girl. She somehow knows. She looked right through me, took me up those stairs. And this girl never looked and never stared. Where's that girl who lived on my block? I can't see her door as her lock. Will this girl let me be a kiss? Or maybe she'll come back in my dreams somewhere. Or maybe she'll come back, that girl. That girl. Yeah, right there. It's like you. It's like you.
Nice.
Nice. That is very nice.
Welcome, Brute Force. Welcome, Zach. Welcome, welcome. Oh, it's a
Zach, how you doing, man?
show. Oh, Dave Newell. There's
nice.
Zach.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you.
Hi. Welcome to reality.
Worldwide, welcome to everybody.
Yeah, and in the frickin' Facebook chat notes, there is a video for you to please watch and comment on. It's by the director of my upcoming To Stir With Love video. And it's Christopher Martini's film. It's called The Tree of Art. And it's a screening, and he needs people to watch and comment on it. And that would be so appreciative, Tate.
Are you in the film?
No, I'm not in that film, but I'll be in his next project.
Great.
Directing our music video to
Yeah.
Love, thanks to the producer down there, Zest Radio. He is very involved in the project.
Oh.
Together, and yeah, it's a family affair. It's a family affair. So I think Brute Force, you'll be next, and then Zest, and then Steve. Steve Andrews is another Zestaholic. We're all Oh my God, Dave, you are hilarious.
Nice goggles, yeah.
I'm modeling all my.
Yeah, it's a fashion show.
I love that.
That's how he usually looks.
This is how I usually.
When he
look.
goes outside, this is how he dresses. Except he wears more than one mask.
So
They should have had a mask
do
contact.
you run the other way, or do they praise you?
I'm scared.
I leave no stone unturned. Let me.
All right, who's playing? Who did we say? Brute?
Am I next?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, everybody. It's really nice that it could happen that quickly. Thank you.
You're in the Brady Bunch.
Great. And we sing la 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 la. Girls were made for boys and boys were made for girls, like fish were made for fishermen and air was made for birds. Oh, luck was made for gamblers and crime was made for fools. Time was made for racing cars, and work was made for tools. Oh, up the mountain with your rock, my boys. Another battle is to be won. Today may be heaven and tomorrow hell. But we've got to get the job done. Oh yes, we've got to get the job done. Oh la 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 la. Protection was made for guns, and fairs were made for corn, and ends were made for memes, and night was made for dawn. Oh, atoms were made for the microscope, and war was made for peace. Oh, boys were made for girls, and girls were made to tease. Oh, up the mountain with your rock, my boys. Another battle is to be won. Yes, today may be heaven and tomorrow hell. But we've got to get the job done. Oh yes, we've got to get the job done. Oh la 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 la. Boys were made for girls, and girls were made for boys. La 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 la. Hear that?
Nice. Hi, Tracy Flume. We love you. Let me know if you want to join us up here in Finland. All right, Zesty Westy. You ready to?
Hey, how are you guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, same here, Dave. Mr. U-Haul, the greatest bass player that I know.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm humbled. Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm hanging in. Everybody else trying to stay.
I see your videos. I see your rooftop videos. Very helpful for keeping people motivated and helping us understand how to protect ourselves. So thank you so much, Dave, for all your assistance with those videos. They're awesome. And I love the goggles. And I'll tell you why. People don't realize wearing a mask is you're protecting others. You can still get this nasty virus through your tear ducts in your eyes.
Right.
So you're doing the right thing by wearing those goggles sealed tight, and you can go out in public without a worry, but just don't get close to anybody. So thank you, Dave U-Haul, for being an awesome individual and helping us through this terrible tragedy of COVID-19. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Seth. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I want a roof. A roof is in my bucket list.
Hey, come over. We'll put you on my roof. I'd love to have you there.
Socially distanced, right?
Well, we got a little area for you up there. We could have
Where
you.
are you? All right, you don't have to give your address on here, but text me.
I'll talk to you offline.
All right, nice.
I have to go because I have to what do you call it? I have to mark some test papers before the end of the day.
Oh wow, it's not done yet?
I'm doing online teaching. I have to. All I do is grade papers.
When are they over?
June. It's going to be June. So
like the end of June?
Yeah.
Like going to the real day?
Excuse me?
Are they going to the real schedule, like the end of June?
I have no clue what they're going to do. All I know is that right now this the way it's this is what it is. But
Yeah. I lost my work at school though because I was after school.
Yeah, well, it's daily basis. I mean, if you're just constantly grading papers. I mean, that's what I'm doing here. So I took a little break because I wanted to see everybody. By the way, it's great to see everybody. By the way,
you too, Dave. We love you.
You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome.
Thanks for visiting.
I love you all. You take care of yourselves, okay? Stay healthy.
Come back again. Love you too.
Take care. Bye now.
Have a good night.
You too. Love you.
All right, Zest, you ready to bang on that thing?
Yes, I'm ready to bang on that thing. So I'm going to try and keep on giving a little update. As you know, I've been playing the Rush and the Who with my special signature series stick. Got the Neil Peart sticks and the Keith Moon signature sticks. I only play with these sticks to the artists that they represent. So Neil Peart, as we know, is probably the greatest drummer ever to live, who played for Rush. Most recently, I've been discovering that Neil Peart played for a group that was for jazz, and he was teaching, not teaching, but showing how you could do it with his sticks. Normally you play your stick with the tips to the drum, like this. But this particular video, you can find it on my YouTube channel. I did a little practice session to it. It's the Cottontail. It's the drum solo part of the Cottontail song that Neil Peart does. And what he does is, at a point during the song, he turns his sticks over and he inverts them. And he plays with the back ends of the stick, and where he starts to do a snare and tom-tom fill, and even includes a serious cowbell session. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to play the sticks forward with the tips, and then I'm going to turn them over. I'm going to give you a little demonstration of how you play with them from the bottom end, which gives them much more depth of sound on the drum. So if you ever see anybody play with the back end of sticks, because they like to play loud, and they like to play precise, and they like to have an excellent booming sound out of their drums. And with regards to that, normally they turn the snare off, so that gives it more of a timbali sound. So it's a very nice sound using the back of the stick. So just quickly, with the front of the sticks and the tips, you can hear how it sounds. Okay, so that's front. Turning the sticks around may not sound different over the web, but on drum kits, it is a lot more depth of sound when you play with the back end of the stick. So here's how it goes a little bit. I don't know if you heard any difference, but there is a difference to playing that. If you're looking for the video to see me play along with Neil Peart, doing the Buddy Rich song Cottontail, and he's playing the solo to it, go to my YouTube channel. It's simple. You just type in Zest 1, 2, 3, and you'll find it. It's on the front of my page. It should be there to play. It just says Zest Practice Pad, Neil Peart Cottontail solo, and that's a bit about what I've been doing lately. Thanks for listening, and rock on. Hey!
I know. Come here.
Very cool.
Yeah. Play. See? Who is that fiddling? Who is that?
Very interesting.
It doesn't look like it's doing it. Is that you, Steve?
No, it's Dennis.
Dennis. Oh, you played, but that sounded good, Dennis. All right, Steve, you want to play?
Yeah, okay, then I'm going to have to go because
I know. Then we'll have to figure out our next one after your song.
Great. And Rue, we have a special guest just joined. So maybe after Steve goes, we could get to her.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Oh, does that girl come from Sweden? Jorgensen? Is that
You ready?
Am I ready to go?
Yeah, you're ready to go. Everyone's muted.
Okay, great. Climb through a rainbow. Climb through a rainbow, climb through a rainbow, climb through a rainbow today. Climb through a rainbow, climb through a rainbow. It's a great way to play. Yeah. Climb through a rainbow, climb through a rainbow, wearing rainbow pants. Climb through a rainbow, climb through a rainbow, then we all can dance. I saw a rainbow in the sky, it made me stop and look. It was even more beautiful than a picture from a storybook. Climb through the rainbow, climb through the rainbow, build a rainbow tower. Climb through a rainbow, climb through a rainbow, feel the rainbow power. Climb through a rainbow, climb through a rainbow, sing a rainbow song. Climb through a rainbow, climb through a rainbow, then you can't go wrong. I saw a rainbow in the sky, it made me stop and look. It was even more magical than a picture from a storybook. So climb to the rainbow, climb to the rainbow, climb to the rainbow today. Climb to the rainbow, climb to the rainbow, it's a great way to play. Climb to the rainbow, climb to the rainbow, build a rainbow tower. Climb to the rainbow, climb to the rainbow, feel the rainbow power.
Feel it. Feel the rainbow power. All right, let's pick our next day. Oh, wait.
You know, it'd be nice if everybody who's listening, we could hear their applause also, beside us.
Well, they're on Facebook. It doesn't work like that.
They can tap something on the screen that makes applause. You'll see it go by.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I mean, it's be happy, Bruce Forrest.
I am ecstatic.
And don't worry, Dr. Jorgensen, we'll get to you in a second. We're just picking up our schedule for our next
All right.
show.
So, James, the next day, today's Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
What works for you? Do you want to do Saturday or do you want to do...
Any day but Sunday through Tuesday.
Right. Do you want to do Saturday?
No, actually, I can even do Tuesday next week. That's right.
Yeah,
Saturday's cool.
Yeah, I can't do Tuesday.
Okay.
All right, Saturday. So let's do Saturday. What time do you want to do Saturday?
You want to do something? Well, I'll let you decide.
Anybody have an opinion? Democracy.
Well, it is Shabbos, but that's okay.
What?
Oh, yeah. See, it is Shabbos. There you go.
That's okay.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't care about that. I know you might.
Wow.
Fine.
I know I respect it, but, you know, I didn't.
Okay to be happy on Shabbos.
Well, Shabbos is for whoever loves it, and I appreciate that. But Saturday, does anyone have a time that they would like? Is it 6? Is it 7? Is it
6?
6? 6? You want 6?
All right.
6.
All
There we
right,
go.
Saturday, May 30th, the last one of May.
Wow.
Saturday, May 30th at 6 p.m. All right, it's booked. That's
Okay,
it.
great.
All right.
Okay, well,
Steve, you are
that's all for me,
dismissed.
and, thank you, and good night, everybody.
Go fly to a rainbow.
Good night.
All right, welcome, Doctor. Dr. Jorgensen.
Hey,
Is that welcome to our show.
Thank you, and feel free to call me Joe. I appreciate that.
Oh, we love Joe. That's cool. Joe, nice to see you. I'm Rue. Everybody is here, just hanging out, doing our thing, and a friend of James is obviously a friend of our show. So please enlighten us to what you're here to discuss.
What would you like me to discuss?
James?
Well, something I heard through the grapevine, something very special happened to you this past Saturday.
Yep.
Would you like to share?
Sure. I became the Libertarian presidential nominee. I'm so excited. So.
Oh, and another one.
Another one?
Well, we had a Green Party presidential candidate. He's not the nominee yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're the Libertarian nominee.
For the U.S. president.
Okay, so what are you going to do to fix our world?
Get government out of our lives. What I've been telling people is I'm running for office because government is too big, too bossy, too intrusive, and usually hurts the people it tries to help. So I want to return power back to the little guy.
And how do you plan on doing this?
Well, by first taking some of the money away from government, I think the very first thing that I would do, the thing that's most important is to get all the troops home, because having soldiers around the world, being the world's policemen, it just gets us into more problems than it helps. And it actually makes us less safe. And the ironic thing is that the job of the military is to make us more safe, not less safe, but having us in everybody else's business just makes us more safe. The other things I would do is basically get rid of a lot of the federal government and put it back at the local level where it belongs, such as education. There's no reason why the people in Washington, D.C. should be deciding what goes on in, rural Alabama as well as downtown Manhattan. People have different tastes, different needs, and there's no reason that the federal government in Washington should be dictating that for the rest of the country.
So can you give us a synopsis or a brief description of what exactly the Libertarian Party stands for? Because I think a lot of people are misinformed when it comes to that.
Okay.
Is it anarchy? Is it like everybody for themselves? Is it anarchy in the USA?
Basically, we would like to have police, courts, and military. And so we have the basic structure of government to protect us. But other than that, we should have peaceful, voluntary exchange between people and nothing coercive. That, for instance, and we've been saying this since the 1970s, you should be able to marry whoever you want to marry. We've been saying that since the early 70s. A lot of people don't realize that when Barack Obama ran in 2012, he was still saying gay marriage should be illegal. So we believe you should be able to marry whoever you want, and we also believe you should be able to own a gun if you want. So basically, it's up to the individual, and the government doesn't have the right to take away those rights from people.
Now, but say if somebody is reckless in their gun usage, how would you?
Then they end up in jail.
Okay.
So, of course, criminals should be put away in jail. But we would like to see, basically when you deal with somebody, there's two ways you can deal with them. Either through force, by coercive force and forcing them to do something, or by voluntary cooperation. And we're for the voluntary cooperation, that we should allow individuals to make their own choices. So basically, we believe in choice in everything, as who you marry, if you own a gun, where you live, what your job is. And right now, we believe you have the choice to leave your home and to run your business if that's what you want to do.
You mean during the COVID thing?
Yes.
And do you believe in listening to the scientists, or do you think that, do you wear a mask?
Oh, do I wear a mask?
Yeah.
No, but again, that's, well, first of all, I've been at home hardly leaving for anything. I think I've driven my car twice in the last 2 weeks. I just don't leave the house, basically. But it should be up to the individual businesses. If you have a store, a restaurant, whatever it is, if you want people to wear masks in your store or your restaurant, then require them to wear masks. If you don't, then don't. And then if you don't want to wear a mask, you go to the store that doesn't make you wear a mask. If you want only people with masks, then you go to that store. So that's the problem with government, is it's one size fits all, which means it doesn't fit anybody. And also, as far as the virus goes, part of the problem, and by the way, I have a PhD, so yes, I understand the scientific method very well. Part of the problem is that government has just gotten in the way time after time after time. You know, there were over 60, that's 60 companies coming up with testing kits, and the FDA only approved 2 of them. And you might think, well, I guess all the other companies, you know, went out of business or couldn't sell their testing kits. But no, they sold them all around the world. So all the other countries get the benefit of our American ingenuity, and we don't.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. So are you going to be on the ballot in November?
I hope to be on the ballot in all 50 states. We'll definitely be in the ballot on a majority. When I was the VP candidate in 1996, I was on the ballot in all 50 states.
1996?
Yes.
That sounds like a long time ago. You look so young. What were you, like 15?
Thank you for that.
Doogie Howser Jorgensen?
I was just barely legal. It was, you know, you had to be 35, and I think I was 39, you know, whatever it was. But
wow, you look good. What's your beauty secret?
Well, believe it or not, even though I'm with the Libertarian Party advocating legalization of all drugs, I've never even smoked a single cigarette in my life.
Have you smoked weed?
No, I know. Bourbon is my drug of choice.
Oh, bourbon.
Yeah, bourbon. But here's the thing.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, and somehow, you know, I was in high school and college during the 70s, and somehow I made it out never having tried pot. But I looked at it saying, well, this isn't fair. I get to drink bourbon. They should be able to smoke pot if they want, or use.
Where do you live? Where are you from?
I live in Greenville, South Carolina right now.
Oh, SoCal. So you're in South Carolina right now?
Yes, I am.
And how's the climate, like, not weather-wise, but people-wise, with this whole world in America right now?
Oh, it's a good cross-section. I live in the upstate near the BMW manufacturing plant and near Michelin North America headquarters. And so we have a lot of
go together? Do BMWs use Michelin tires?
I would assume so.
Wow, I didn't know that they were right neck and neck. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so we have a lot of transplants from all over the country, including up north. So even though we're in South Carolina, this is a very, you know, it's a different kind of city. It's not a typical southern city. A lot of northern transplants.
Oh, so they're not like fireworks being sold all over the streets over there?
Well, it still is South Carolina. One thing I like about South Carolina is we do have our, and I didn't grow up here. I actually grew up north of Chicago, so I'm not, you know, I wasn't born a Southerner, but I've adopted the Southern ways. And one thing about South Carolina is we value our independence. So.
Interesting. Well, I do wish you all the best. And does anyone have a question for Joe? Does anybody have a question for? Yes.
Medical insurance.
Please.
Medical insurance. What? I guess. What about healthcare? How do you foresee healthcare?
Yeah, the problem right now is that the government got involved in World War II and has been involved ever since. Basically, we don't have real health insurance. We've got prepaid health care in which nobody cares about the cost. So imagine if your car insurance paid for gas, paid for oil, paid for car wash. You wouldn't drive around town looking for the cheapest gas. You'd say, well, I guess I'll go wash my car every week because it doesn't cost me anything. You know, I'll pay my $1 copay or whatever. And that's what's happened with our medical care. There are only 2 fields in medicine in which insurance doesn't pay. and that's cosmetic surgery and LASIK surgery. And both of those prices have gone down dramatically, and quality has gone up because they have to compete. You know, if you go out to buy a car or buy a computer, you compare prices and you get the best that you get the best that your money can buy. With healthcare, you don't have to shop around because you just let the insurance company pay for it. And so that's how costs have skyrocketed because, you know, like I said, nobody spends other people's money as carefully as they spend their own.
That is true. Health.
I have a question.
Who?
Don.
Oh, Donald, please.
Yes. I want to ask, in this Libertarian Party, how can you assume that people, and this is following up with ReW had said earlier, how do you assume people are going to do the right thing? We sort of self-police ourselves, but other people take advantage of people like us. So how do you have a society where people police themselves or do the right thing?
Yeah, no, I don't assume people are going to do the right thing. You know, first of all, we've got police, courts, and military. But I'd like to point out somebody like Charles Manson, who was, you know, kind of a, you know, private market individual on his own. He was, you know, just horrendous with the murders. However, you take somebody like Hitler and give him the power of government, and now it's just horrific. So what I say is government is too powerful of a tool to leave around for evil people like that to use. For you to convince people to do evil things in a free market, you have to convince them. In a government like Hitler, or we see dictators all over the world, you don't have to convince them. You order them and you've got the military on your side. So no. People, you can't assume that people will do the right thing. And again, that's why I think that government is too powerful for the evil people to use.
Well, it's hard to say which is the lead and which is the lag, because I have to say I can't envision a country without a government that sets up the parameters and the rules by which we all ascribe to.
Oh, sure.
And there's got to be a lot of cooperation. So although I don't believe me, I'm not knocking what you're doing, and I'd love to think that we live in a utopian society.
We don't.
We don't. When I was in college, I have a degree in economics, and one of the lessons I'll never forget was one professor said, when we were talking about freedom, he said the freedom of one's fist is its proximity to someone else's chin.
Exactly.
And when you think about that, it's really pretty deep, because if everybody behaved themselves, we would never have any problems. I'm not going to go and pull your flowers out of your lawn because I want a new bouquet, and vice versa. But we've seen that once you inject money and power and influence into the equation, I have to say you have a big mountain to climb.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, you know, a lot of people point to corporations, for instance, and say, oh, greedy corporations, we need government to rein them in. It's government that's giving them the power. You know, some people complain about welfare. Actually, the corporate welfare problem is a lot worse than the individual welfare problem. And that would be my primary thing to go after, is corporate welfare. In fact, you know, look at the coronavirus. Walmart. Online sales through the roof, Amazon sales through the roof, mom and pop small stores, their profits, their sales have declined by 75% since last year. It's just horrible what they're going through. But if you look, you know, whenever you give money to the government, you're giving it to bureaucrats to decide how to spend and who gets it. Whereas if we keep our money, then we decide who earns our dollar and where we want to shop, not the government.
But the momentum and inertia of what you're up against is profound.
Oh yeah, it is.
And it's hard to, you know, like when you steer the Titanic or any big ship, you steer it, but it doesn't turn right away. It takes 10 miles to turn an aircraft carrier around, 10 miles. So what you're aspiring to, which is noble, you have to be realistic at the same time. And you're going to be up against forces that are gonna be frightened by what you're alluding to, because it's gonna threaten their existence.
Oh, can I just say one thing? absolutely.
This whole way of thinking, which idealistically, like you said, Donald, my dad always used to say things, not libertarian. He used to say like things like it's making me. He always would say it keeps an honest man honest. An honest man will, who's on the fence about maybe doing something wrong, might not if like he sees a house that has an alarm in it. Like they might not go rob that house because there's an alarm in that house. A criminal is going to go in whether there's an alarm or not. If they know which house they want, they're taking it. And it's like, I feel like, like what you were saying, Donald, like if it's up to us to do it ourselves, an honest man is going to keep honest, but like one that wants to do what they want to do, they're going to do it.
Oh, yeah. And in fact, well, my degree is in psychology, although I'm not a clinical psychologist, but basically it's a business psychology degree. And I can tell you that a lot of people with antisocial personality disorder, basically a psychopath, a lot of them are promoted to become CEOs of large corporations. And that's the problem. Instead of going out and trying to get people to convince people, okay, buy my product, they go to the government, have them pass all sorts of special laws, and let's, force it so that the people have no choice but to deal with us. And I mean, look at racism. I mean, look at, Jim Crow laws. So we ended slavery. And then the freed slaves went out. They had great skills and abilities. I mean, a lot of these people were craftsmen because they were doing the work, right? And so they offered their prices, or they offered their services for a cheaper price, because that's how you go into business. And by the way, when I started my business, that's what I did. I offered a lower price so that people would come to me. So they offered lower prices, excellent craftsmanship, and the whites said, oh my gosh, what can we do? Well, they didn't want to compete with them at a fair level. They didn't want to knock their prices down. So they said, we'll pass laws. And so they passed all sorts of laws, like, you can't, I don't know, make a sidewalk unless you can read at a third grade level, whatever. There were all sorts of laws that obviously were just meant to keep the blacks out of competing with the whites. And so, again, will people do the right thing? Again, they won't. So how about let's take the power of government away from them? That way, when the whites are in control of the government, they don't just say, well, let's pass laws against blacks. For instance, Rosa Parks. A lot of people look at Rosa Parks and she was a hero. And absolutely she was. What a lot of people don't realize, though, is that was a government-owned, government-run bus. And 70% of the ridership at the time were blacks. Now, let's look at it today. Let's say we're talking about Uber. I mean, if Uber had a best customer, if they had great customers, 70% of their customers were whoever, do you think they would treat their best customers like that? I mean, they couldn't. They'd go out of business. But the government can keep doing that to people because if they do a poor job, they just raise taxes. They're not held accountable.
Well, Carol Lester has a lot to say on this topic. She says, get rid of PACs and unlimited legal secret money to politicians, and we'd solve everything. She also says, right, and then Jim Crow laws, state rule ensued and federal government needed to fix it. So like this topic could go on forever. I really appreciate you coming here, and I wish you all the best. And peace on earth. I mean, I do wish for that too.
And if you don't mind my sharing, my husband is actually a drummer. He's actually got hair down to there. So.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Does he play in South Carolina?
South Carolina, yeah. He's been a drummer, since high school. So I just had to pass it along since I saw the music. He's into prog rock, which I'm not, I'm not into. He says my songs are too simple and they'll only have 2 chords throughout the song. But
we love that.
That's right.
Although right. I finally dragged him to a Guns N' Roses concert a couple years ago, and he actually was he was more impressed with Axl than he thought he would be. So
nice,
kind of a music. Can I give you my website before I leave?
That's for Axl. Do you know, I used to work in a nightclub, and Axl came there one night.
Really?
Yeah, but he was petrified of the people and hid in the box office, having like a panic attack.
Wow.
So he didn't go out into the room because he was literally freaked out. Yeah. So on stage he's safe, but Skid Row was playing, and Skid Row was friends with Guns N' Roses. It was a crazy night. It was so packed, and Axl just hid in the box office, freaked out.
Well, I know he had a rough childhood, that's, I thought you were going to tell me, some story about how he's a jerk. So thank you.
No, he's not a jerk. No, not at all. Not at all.
Awesome. Well, do you mind if I give my website before I leave?
All right, rock, paper, scissors. Who's ready to play a song? Joe, stick around if you keep talking.
Well, actually, Joe has to leave, so she just wants to give her website.
Oh, please do.
Yeah, it's JOJ2020.com. So
JOJ2020.com.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, thank you for that.
I wish you all the best.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. 2020, JoJo.
JOJ 2020. Thanks.
JOJ. Nice. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So who's on deck? Who needs to play?
I thought Dennis was on deck.
Oh, Dennis, go for it, Dennis.
I never heard Don. Are you playing, Don?
I played earlier.
Do you want to play again, Don?
Excuse me?
You want to play another one?
No, I did my one song today. I had a very busy week, and I whipped that together right before showtime.
Well, you did it very well. Don, Dennis, you can watch it on the replay.
Okay, I'll try something.
We had some informative stuff right there. Wow, that was heavy duty.
What's that?
That was heavy duty stuff.
That conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. We're a very informative show. Hi, Haiti.
Yeah. But
now we need to get the Democratic and Republican candidates for president on the show.
All right, James, that's your job.
All right, I'll work on it.
All right, okay. All right. Any other party?
I guess I'll do my political statement song.
Yeah, do it.
Everybody's on the run. You can be shot, you can be stunned. Either way, your time is done. There's too many guns. Too many guns. Too many guns in Hollywood. Too many guns in my neighborhood. Too many guns around brothers and sisters too. There's too many guns. Too many Too many guns inside the school. Too many guns in the hands of fools. Too many guns trying to make the world. There's too many guns. Too many Too many guns in Too many guns across the land. Too many guns too close to hand. Too many guns, what don't you understand? There's too many guns. Too many guns. There's too many guns. Too many guns.
Is that
Thank you.
Is that Gia Jordan?
It's Gia on time.
On time. Should we share the little story from last week?
She has to unmute herself.
Okay.
Gia, put the volume on. Gia, unmute. Unmute.
There's the hand or a sign.
Demute.
Linda has the sign.
I unmuted it. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
How are you?
How are you?
No, you're not unmuted, Gia.
Frozen now. Oh, she's
Her
gone.
image was just.
Well, there you go. That was Gia Jordan, everyone. Gia Jordan.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, she's going to perform when she gets back, if she can. All right, Stupid Maker, do you want to do another? And then Brute Force, and then Zest? And when Gia comes, she goes, though, before anybody.
Yay!
All right, take it away, Stupid Maynard.
Okay.
There, unmuted myself. Oh, I want to say something real quick. So I was in a Guns N' Roses video, November Rain, as an extra, and I know the drummer from Skid Row. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
It's just funny.
That was a crazy night, man.
Yeah.
That was nutty.
Okay, here we go. She was born in Reno, 22, eyes blue, sitting 5'2", all jacked up in her high heels with nothing to do. She can bounce you higher like a ping pong ball. She was born in Reno. Shotgun wet aim. Crack pot, slingshot, punch in your gut. I wanna get it, girl. Burning rubber. She can paint a flower on your skin. She was born in Reno. Tonight I came a wow wow. I came a wow wow in. Walking in. I could feel the dance. Step back bass, hair caressing my face. A Victoria's Sweet. Yeah, Victoria's Sweet. Check my votes, go to bed and get what to do. Why you gotta wake a guy like me? Hellbound a hound dog like a tree. She came down off that pole, woke my manhood, took all my money. Why she did that, Maynard? I don't know, but I think I know. She was born in Reno. She told me so. She was born in Reno. Born in Reno. She got her hair all gold. She
It's boring, you know, like a spot to sleep. If the food's gold, you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Woo! Okay, cheers.
Yay.
Nice.
Okay. All right, Gina, you cut the line because you're late and you're on. You're still. You need. Are you unmuted, Gia?
Yeah, Gia, you have to unmute yourself.
There
you
you
go.
go. All right.
Hey, guys.
On. Welcome,
right.
Gia.
Hi, you guys are so awesome. Sorry I'm late. I had talking to you.
Really?
I'm only, actually I feel like I'm really early for myself.
Yeah, that's good.
I love you, Ruth.
I love you, Gia.
All right, you guys. I have a song.
Cool.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Johnny said you hit the ground. Johnny said hit the ground. Johnny said that when he's mad at his wife, you don't give one fuck, he's gonna take your life away. He's done it once or twice, and found thousand times. He got that 45. Now you're in his sight. He's done it once or twice, and about 1,000 times. He found that 45. Johnny says, I look like I'll be trouble. Johnny said, put your hands behind your back, punk. Johnny said, he likes when I try to resist. He says, bitch, why don't you run? You're like, you got a gun back. Not black or white, it's blue and it's black. It's not black or white, he's just a bully with the badge. Bully with the badge. The bully with the badge. Johnny. So it's funny, some kind of got that 45, and now you're in him. And then Johnny said, to hit the ground. Johnny said, he's gonna hunt us all down. Johnny said that when he's mad at his wife, I know. You don't give one fuck, he's gonna take your life. White is blue
Elvis has left the building.
That was an interesting entrance.
Exit. All right, let's do no commercials because I know everybody's anxious to play. All right, group 4, get away.
Yeah.
And then Zest.
You have to unmute yourself though.
Thank you.
Brute, I need you to unmute again. Sorry.
Oh, he doesn't know. All right. No. Oh, he's in his own private Idaho.
Yeah. Oh man, this is bad.
I know. All right. So Zest, take it away, Zest, and we'll have him go next.
Okay, sure.
Yes, but he's. Oh wait.
Yeah. There we go. Unmute. Yeah. Unmute yourself. Unmute. I don't know how to say.
I did it.
Yeah. There was Anyway. So yeah, if we could start over.
May I start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you. And I think yeah. You hear me? And I think yeah. And I think I'm missing peace. So much fight, too much fighting going on. And I know, yeah, I miss that old-fashioned feeling. So much madness going round, round and round and round and round, round and round and round. Patriotic sacrifices in World War I and II. I hope we never see number 3, with billions and millions of people screaming, no, don't do that, no, I wanna live. We wanna live in peace, we wanna die in we wanna live in peace, da 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 da. I think we're missing peace. So much fight going on. And I know I miss that old feeling. So much madness going round, round and 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 round. Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq, and all those civil wars of history. Look like everybody fighting everybody endlessly. Whoever wins in endless war, endless war, and I think we're missing peace. So much fighting going on. And I know I miss that old feeling. So much madness, so much madness, so much madness going on.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
So much, man. Hello, Amy. Hello, Allison. Welcome, Linda. Marisa. Hello, Carol Lester. Marisa. Love you all. Hello, Gas. Such a pleasure for you to drop by. All right, Zest, hit it. And then Mimsy. Welcome, Mimsy.
Mimsy.
Oh, nice to see you.
Mimsy went to Borgo's in the moon.
Mimsy.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, go Zest.
Okay, so I got to tell you guys about sort of like kind of a skeleton in my drumming life. When I was a child, the Monkees were on television at the time. My brother, my second oldest brother, he roadied for a group in Canada called Crowbar, who did a great song called "Oh What a Feeling." What happened was he brought home a broken guitar, and I started playing, like mimicking in front of the TV to the Monkees. And I was playing, it was probably like a Les Paul copy or something, and it was all busted up. So there I am, I'm like playing along with the Monkees to this broken electric guitar. And then what happened was, I saw this intro, this new intro to the Monkees that I'd never seen before, and there's Mickey Dolenz wearing basically a poncho and playing timpani. But when I saw that, I said to myself, hey, and my hands dropped from the guitar, and I looked at this little scene, and I'm like, that's for me. So I've always wanted to like play in a symphony orchestra, playing the timpanis, but I never had the chance. So I just basically took up drums. But then my brother, same brother, brought home a broken Rogers snare drum. And it wasn't just a regular snare, it was probably like a tenor tom turned into a snare. And that is the beginnings of my drumming. And at the time, the Beatles came out with their album that had For the Benefit of Mr. Kite on it. And I used to play to the Beatles album, to that album, hours and hours a day up in my room. And I didn't even have drumsticks, I had chopsticks. I was playing on this half snare drum with chopsticks, just being For the Benefit of Mr. Kite and all kinds of Beatles songs. And it was kind of crazy. So I had my second oldest brother to thank for bringing home those broken instruments from Crowbar as a roadie. So in that, Being For the Benefit of Mr. Kite is basically a song that has a buzz roll, which I explained previously on another show, but I'll explain again. It's called a double stroke roll. And what happens is, to get up to speed, to be able to play a buzz roll, you need to develop speed from a double stroke roll. So I'm going to just start off very slowly with the double stroke roll. I'm going to build it up to a buzz roll, and then you'll see what I mean. So from my childhood till now, I'm still playing For the Benefit of Mr. Kite on my little practice pad with a buzz roll, and it was very cool. So there you go, a little bit of a skeleton in my drumming career. There you go. I've been a drummer for over 42 years, by the way. So let's all rock and roll. Have a great night. Continue on, Ruth. Thanks for the opportunity. Take care, guys.
Well, love you, Zest. You're the best, Zest. You're the best, you're the best, you're the best. I have to redo that song from Beauty and the Beast. Be our guest, but I always say, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. All right, Mimsy, take it away.
Hey, hi.
Mimsy.
Well, so I mean, who else has their days and nights and weeks? It's like, what day is it? So I did know today was Wednesday, but I just gotta tell you, when it's like 6 o'clock at night, I just want to go to bed. So I took a nap, and then now I'm here with you guys because I just can't seem to get my days straight. But so because I've been so tired and sleepy, I thought I'd sing my song called "Wake Up." How does that sound? Is that too loud? Is that good?
It's good.
So I wrote this song on a kind of a dreary day. I woke up and just kind of didn't know what the heck was going on. Why do we wake up checking Facebook again? Why do we clear our emails but not our minds? Why do we wake up smelling coffee and cream keys? Why do we wake up smelling roses from someone else's bouquet? Whoa, there's someone else's bouquet. Whoa. Why do every shade of blue. Whoa, count your blessings one by one. Shout their names out loud. Count your blessings one by one. Shout their names out loud. Why do we wake up feeling like a bitch? Why do we wake up like an old wicked witch? Why do we wake up forgetting all of our loves? Why do we wake up not knowing that we are doves? Whoa, knowing we are doves. Whoa, count your blessings one by one. Shout their names out loud. Count your blessings one by one. Shout their names out loud. Out loud. Out Count your blessings one by one. Shout their names. Shout their names. Shout their names. Out loud, let me hear ya. Out loud. Out loud. Count your blessings one by one.
Yay.
Yay. I got one too. Rue.
So having me. You're the best. Rue, you're awesome. You're the hostess with the most.
And I got this little fidget.
Oh, I love you.
I have mine too. One of
Oh,
mine.
baby.
One of mine.
The baby.
Ah, 8-ball. Oh, make a wish.
All right, let's tell us what does the 8-ball say. All right, we got 10 minutes. So
You want to go down?
whoever didn't do 2 songs, Gia, you want to do another?
I do.
Okay, go for it. And then Minzy, you can do another, and then we see what happens.
Guys, thanks again for having me.
Sure.
I love everyone. You guys are all great. Real bad bitch, don't fuck with the shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't take shit and I help her with my fish. Yeah, 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 yeah. All those games you play, it don't work on me. And if you want your shit split, this is where it is. I take pleasure in your tears. 'Cause I'm a badass. I'm badass. Shit is badass. Only fuck with you badass shit. You know I'm badass. I might look real cute, but don't think I won't hurt you. And if I think that you're rude, then you get that's the truth. 'Cause when it comes to cool, I ain't just like you. When it's time for pain, I know exactly what to
Cause I'm a badass. Shit is badass. I like fuck with the badass. Badass. You know that I'm badass. I'm walking down the street, I don't open my eyes, and I feel like it's long and I'm feeling alright. Go straight to a line, 'cause I don't run away. Fuck yeah, you know that I fight. Now you're victim, I'm not your victim, I'm not. I'm badass, shit is badass, only fuck with the badass shit. Badass, you know I'm badass. I can be tight, my back, right, I feel I need my happy. I'm badass, I can be tight, right, I feel I need my skill, I'm the type of shit I'm in. I'm badass, badass, shit is badass, only fuck with badass shit, fucking badass shit. My bad. My bad. Yeah, I want to make it room for everyone else. So.
Yeah. And Lindsay, take it away.
All right. Hey, I'm going to thank you so much. That's awesome. This next song is just maybe fits into the times we're living in right now. It's called Don't Stop Me Now. I am alone again, it's blinding. Where am I headed to today? My heart is broken and there's no one here. I've got to press on anyway. Here I go. Don't stop me now. Your move will guide me all the way. I'm not afraid to carry on. Discover life every day. Life is too short for this complaining. I must see my cup half full, yeah. Too many new things yet experience. Relax your mind, let go and see. Here I go, don't stop it now. The moon will guide me on the way. I'm not afraid, carry on. Start life every day. People will come and people will go. Sometimes the laughter turns to tears. Today is now, yesterday is gone. Release that paralyzing fear. Here I go, don't stop it now. Your love will guide me all the way. I'm not afraid, carry on. Start your life every day.
All right, would everybody do me a favor and just say happy birthday, Ricky, when I say 3? Everybody just say happy birthday, Ricky. 1.
Happy birthday, Ricky.
Say it again.
Happy birthday, Ricky.
Birthday, Ricky. Ricky.
Happy birthday, Ricky.
Happy birthday, Ricky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, his birthday's June 8th, and his sister just sent me a thing today, like, can you send a video saying happy birthday to Ricky? So thank you for that. And
Very happy. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to Rue.
Another one. Somebody just wrote, I'm going to have dinner and then I'm going to eat. Join you later, but we're done now. So Karina, I love that you wanted to come join us later, but later is not happening. Later will be Saturday. The next one is Saturday, 6 to 8. So that's May 30th. It will be the last one in May. It will be number 18.
I believe it's pre-opening.
Yes, so it's 8 o'clock and we're done. And thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, James Lane.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This thing is not over yet, so everybody take care and stay safe, you know.
Marilyn, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, peace out, babes. See you next time.
Bye-bye.